So I just want to make sure the scope mounts are attached properly and we get everything leveled and plumbed. To do this really properly, it's good to use a little bit of Loctite on these threads. Doesn't need much, but it just helps the threads from backing out from vibration or excess shooting. It's them in, and it doesn't lock them forever. You can still take them out, but it helps. It's good to have a little simple torque wrench, and it's pretty common that the bolts into the receiver should be about 25 inch-pounds, and then these ring bolts about 18.5 inch-pounds. So I can dial this down to 25. I tighten evenly until it clicks. There. See, it clicks over, and that tells me that I'm at the proper torque. You know, if we don't get this seated properly, then all your sighting in is pointless because this can move around on you. So getting this set properly first is important. And we want to make sure that we get it nice and level and plumb. If you don't have a sled like this, you just got to do your best with sandbags and making it kind of a makeshift vise. But these are pretty handy. I can really fine tune it. So I can adjust this. You can see the level bubble moving until it's nice, and check both. A lot of times they're a little bit off, but these are really uniform, which is good. And then we set our scope in. Just want to do the same thing here. A little bit of Loctite, doesn't hurt. I'm not going to tighten this yet. I'm just kind of getting it in place. Okay, so it's loose. You can move it around. This is where it's your last chance to kind of position it. Hold it in snug. Drop your head down on the stock and get about a fist width between your eye or your forehead and the scope ring. So right there is just about right. Now, since this is locked in, the rifle should still be level and plumb. We want to match to make sure the scope is also level and plumb. And if you don't have this setup, you can do your best to eyeball it. So I look through here. It looks like the vertical crosshair is coming right down through the center of the rifle. It's not tilted one way or the other. And then we'll drop this down to 18.5. But again, check with your scope rings and scope to confirm the torque values. But 18.5 on the rings is a pretty common. And tightening these is sort of like tightening lug nuts on a tire. You don't want to do one side and then the other. You want to kind of get them down even because it can clamp hard here and then be gapped over here. It's a bit of a tedious process, but the idea is you do it once, you do it right, and then you're not second guessing as to whether your scope is moving around on you. And over tightening these could strip the bolts or crush the tube or something, so you don't want to get too aggressive on that. All right, so these are torqued again, 25 inch-pounds, 18 here on the rings. Now we're ready to bore sight it. So to bore sight it, I'm going to move the crosshairs up to something that's pretty obvious, like the top right corner of the white paper. Then I'm going to look through the bore, and I can see an image, and in the image it looks like it's centered on the lower right corner, where the crosshairs are centered on the upper right corner. So line of sight through the scope is at one angle, and I can tell the barrel is pointed down right now. What I really need to do is bring the barrel up, adjust the scope so they're matching. Looking through the bore, I'm going to bring it up until it is roughly centered on the upper right corner of the paper, whatever my target is. And then I've got to adjust the crosshairs here. As I twist this knob, the crosshairs will lower or raise inside the scope. And I can see through the bore at image right in the center of the bore. And then I check up here, and it looks the same on the crosshairs. So it should be pretty close. Now we have to put it on paper and see how close we are. Another thing to check periodically and before you sight in is to make sure these bolts that hold the action to the stock are torqued properly. It's typically 35, but again, check with your rifle manufacturer. The other thing we want to do is run a snake through the barrel just to clean out any extra oil and gunk and dust before we start shooting. And these snakes, they make different calibers. This is a 30 caliber stamped in the brass here, and it's just a weighted cord that then pulls through a wire brush here. So you drop that weighted bit through until it gets out the muzzle, You turn it around. Do that once more just for good measure. All right. I've got a template that I made. It's a 2-inch square with an inverted T, each with 1/2-inch legs. And this impact is 2 inches above. If you don't have a 200-yard range, this is what you use at 100 yards. So we're going to hold the crosshairs right here. Ideally, we want our bullet to hit here 2 inches high at 100 yards. Roughly equate to being 0 right on at 200 yards. So just to explain a little further on why we're deciding it to be 2 inches high at 100, this is a ballistic chart, various different cartridges, but you'll see this fine, straight, horizontal line here is our line of sight, and it starts 1.5 inches above where the bullet is because your scope and your barrel are offset. Your barrel's below your scope and your barrel's slightly pointed up. So it comes out headed up, and it arcs and peaks, and a couple inches high at 100 is not that big of a deal. It'll be an easy kill shot on a 8-inch plus, kill zone on a heart and lungs on a deer, and it should be about 0 at 200, and then a couple 3 inches low at 250. And after 250, it starts to drop off. Anywhere from 0 to 250 is a pretty good range, especially if you're starting out hunting, trying to get within that range. So you don't have to worry about adjusting or compensating for drop in this scenario. And again, this is 2 inches from the center of this X up to this T. So we're going to be putting our crosshair right here in the center. And at 100 yards, theoretically, we want our bullet to hit 2 inches high where we're holding at 100. In the shooting process, it's really critical that we don't introduce any human error into the shooting. So we do not want to flinch at all. And having a good solid rest helps, but just also be very mindful of the trigger squeeze. We put some blank rounds in here, and we're just going to practice and get a feel for the trigger. I can just pull, 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 pull. And I want that click to surprise me. I don't want to anticipate when that's going to happen. The reverse is I get in here and I crunch it and I tense up, and that pushes the rifle around and it throws off the accuracy. Just get in, nice snug shoulder, adjust the sled if it needs to be, hold it right on the crosshairs, and squeeze slowly over about 5 seconds or more until it clicks. And that, again, that break should surprise you. Take up the slack, nice steady, slow pull until it surprises you when it clicks. Now the reverse of that is you come in here and you do that. This is not what you want. You don't want that movement. Nice and slow. Same thing, just let it, you can rest your elbow on that if you want. Just let it surprise you. Which one are you holding on? The center one?
Center, yeah.
Like take your weight off the rifle, put the crosshairs back on the center X, and then adjust these up and down until the crosshairs move over. Put them a couple inches below the hole. Okay, and then readjust this until the crosshairs are back on the X. And again, just let that surprise you. That one is a little high and left. So what we can do now to adjust it is we want to bring it, what do you think, 2 inches right?
Yeah.
So you're going to go to this dial here, and it says R with an arrow, 1/4 MOA. So every click is going to equate to a 1/4 inch at 100 yards. So if we want to bring it 2 inches to the right, we want to click it to the right 8 clicks. And we want to bring it down, what do you think, 2 or 3 inches? 8 to 12 clicks, 2 to 3 inches. Other way. That's you with the arrow means you're going to move the bullet up. So you want to go opposite, which would be down. About an inch right and an inch high. So we're getting real close. So I don't know, try, if you think, try left and down an inch and see what that does. It's quite a bit lower. Scope is tightened, rifle's secured to the stock, and we're shooting off a steady rest. So it's at least in the ballpark. Probably now it's just a matter of putting some rounds through it. A little drill here. Look away. Don't know whether it's going to be loaded or live or dead. All right. It's pretty good. It didn't see much movement in the rifle, but you bounced a little bit and blinked, which is hard not to. And even just here, just do that one again. It's almost like you're shooting as if you're pretending it's empty. Good. And we'll see what's coming up here next. That was right in there. Just where we want it. But look away so you don't know what's coming. All right, do the same thing again, same target. Good. Good. And right when that clicks or bangs, you should have a sight picture. You should have like a little image etched in your brain right when it all goes off. Felt like that was low or high or whatever. Okay, try again. It's a little left, but so that gives us a group of 3, and you can take the average of that 3 and assume that's kind of where you're hitting right now. It's about an inch left and an inch low. Go right an inch and up an inch, and then shoot the steel plate and see what happens.